So we don't have enough truck drivers. That's part of the so-called supply chain problem. Of course, the cause is we've acted like driving a truck was somehow a disreputable thing to do, and majoring in gender studies was like the greatest thing you could do. So we're obviously reaping the fruits of that. But MSNBC has a completely different explanation for it. You'll be shocked to learn that according to a host called Tiffany Cross, the real problem is racism. According to Tiffany Cross, too many truck drivers are the wrong color. Watch.
This is, again, an industry populated by a lot of white men over the age of 55. This group of people overwhelmingly voted for Trump. Some people have talked about, aggressive truck drivers cutting them off or not being helpful.
So if you think the supply chain problem is the result of racism, maybe you've got a certain obsession that's coloring your interpretation, so to speak. All of this was kind of interesting news to Carl Tharp-Porter. He's a truck driver called Carl from the South Side. We saw his response to that segment on Twitter. Here's what he wrote, quote, "I'm a truck driver. It doesn't matter that I'm black and I've never experienced racism from other drivers. Don't bring your leftist agenda to us." So we thought it'd be kind of interesting to talk to an actual truck driver, which Carl Tharp-Porter is, and we're happy to have him join us right now. Carl, thanks so much for coming on. So MSNBC's view is that this is somehow a race crisis, that our trucking shortage. Is that your experience as a truck driver?
Not at all. I want to say that there is a divide, but it's not on the issues of race. I've had to do my due diligence as far as talking to the elder, experienced truck drivers that are so-called black, and I had to ask them, have you experienced these things like is being interpreted? And the obvious is that a lot of people are dealing with emotional issues here.
Right.
It's more of an accountability issue. It's a spiritual battle, and I think that it's either right or wrong, good or evil. And that's how I look at it. I like to look at things in that type of lens. I don't fall into the prey of the left where it goes more of the emotional base and it plays upon your emotional weariness as far as being fearful of things to happen. What struck me was that the woman stated that there was a racism issue, but she didn't talk about the more important issues like of gender being in the field of truck driving as a woman. That we deal with wage issues, we deal with DOT regulation issues, the fact that I have to be over the road for over 2 weeks and then come back home and I see my family. Those are true issues. I don't want to deal with the invisible boogeyman like racism. So to be able to talk about this, Tucker, I appreciate you. And I just want to get that word out that we need to get over this imaginary thought of racism. To me, it doesn't exist. Again, it's only good and evil, right and wrong. Truckers that do things that are wrong out there, you need to take accountability and let those people know that that's not the way that we do things. We are a family unit in the truck driving industry. We don't want to deter young drivers like myself away from the industry because of other people's fears and disbeliefs.
Yeah. So in other words, the real problem with truck driving is it's a hard job. It's hard on your family. Wish you got paid more. Yeah, exactly. Maybe they could point that out
to my wife.
Once in a while. Carl, yeah, I bet. Well, thank you for doing it because we need it. Carl Tharp-Porter, good to see you tonight.
All right, now, take care.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.